How does that sound? Better? Yeah, okay. All right, I was just chiding everybody for mentioning my birthday. I don't know how it all got out like that. It's supposed to be a secret. Okay? All right. Is there anybody here for the first time? If you're here for the first time, raise your hand. We have a gift for you. Oh, okay, leave your hand up. Yeah, you already got your gift? Good. Yes. So, is there anybody here from another unity? Okay. Well, you are here on the right day, at the right time, because you're going to experience a talk from Syntysche that's going to inspire you to living the life that you are supposed to be living. You're going to love this talk. Look forward to it.
Good morning, everyone. Mike's not here today, so I'm going to do his announcements today. So we have a potluck happening right after this service in the fellowship hall. If you haven't brought a dish to share, we have plenty of food, so it's okay. If you want to run out and grab something, great, and then it takes place right after the service today. We have a conscious communication practice group from 1 to 3 downstairs in the Uniteens room today. And Saturday, March 1st, this coming up Saturday, we have Peace Through Music benefit concert. And the tickets are available in the bookstore right now. It's going to be many, many artists performing here. It'll be an amazing experience. And it's a fundraiser. Let's see what it's for. It's the season for nonviolence, and the proceeds benefit the Muse in Boulder. Also, we have a meditative prayer gathering next Sunday between the services at 10:15. That's led by Steve Sheets, who you'll be meeting in just a second, who's the head of our prayer team. And we also want to let you know that our book study begins on March 11th, Tuesdays, and we've been requested to have a co-ed group as well as an all-women's group because the women just really like to stay together. So I got other leaders to lead the co-ed group. So you'll be registering, and you have to specify if you want to be in the co-ed group or the women's group, and you can register in the bookstore today. We also have a new Kundalini yoga class that's being held on Fridays from 11:30 to 1, and it's $13 drop-in, $10 senior students, $10, but the first time to just try it out, it's $5. All right, I'm going to invite Steve Sheets out. Thank you. Come with me. We're not doing.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Steve Sheets. I'm part of the Unity of Boulder prayer team. Today, for the prayer pickup, if you've been to our past services, we're going to do something a little bit different today. But I invite you in front of you in the pews. Behind each pew, there's a pencil and paper. If there's anyone that you would like to add to the Unity of Boulder prayer list to be prayed over, please feel free to add their names to that slip of paper, and then after I get done talking, I'm going to say the daily word, and after I recite the daily word, then I'll come around and pick up the prayer slips. Just a couple things. Syntysche already mentioned the prayer service first Sunday of every month from 10:15 to 10:45. The prayer team, we meet the first and third Thursdays at 5 p.m. of each month. You're all invited to join us in those prayer meetings too. We have those downstairs in the prayer room. All the details are in the bulletin, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and read the daily word, and then I'll come around and pick up any prayers that you have that you'd like to add to the prayer box. We do pray over those names for 30 days here at Unity of Boulder, and then we forward those to Silent Unity at Unity Village in Kansas City, where they pray for an additional 30 days. So the daily word for Sunday, February 23rd, 2025 is wisdom. Divine wisdom. Wisdom guides my words and actions. When I have felt torn trying to decide which way to go or how to handle a trying situation, I may have asked in prayer for insight and guidance. As I've grown spiritually, I have come to realize that any insight and guidance I could need are within me, aspects of my divine inheritance. Divine wisdom is my ability to intuit, to sense, and to discern my best choice. I pay attention to my hunches, flashes of inspiration, and the whispers of guidance I feel in my quiet moments. I believe they are divinely inspired, even if they surprise me. In confidence and with gratitude, I move in the direction of my highest good, trusting in my own innate wisdom. So Isaiah 30, verse 21, and when you turn to the right and when you turn to the left, your ears shall hear a word behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Thank you.
Entertainment club that everybody's welcome to join. If you want to sing with us any Sunday and you get emails from us, you'll see the song we're singing, and then you can practice with us at 9 a.m. on Sundays. Everybody's welcome. Everybody has a voice, and it's a wonderful thing to use. They say to sing is to pray twice, so join us in singing this incredibly beautiful number. All these pieces broken and scattered, sweet the sound.
Sing a soul like me.
Beautiful singing. Okay, our special music is being shared by a friend that shares her music with us about once a month, and we always look forward to it. Let's have a warm Boulder Unity welcome for Lavinia Isoff.
There are two sides to every story. The truth lives where it don't belong. It's a tricky line that we're walking when we got so many people talking, and nobody thinks that they're wrong. How you gonna love someone if you don't forgive them? How you gonna hear what they say if you never listen? How you gonna stand up when the world wants you kneeling? How you gonna live out the words you're preaching if you don't believe them? This flood isn't made up of water, but somehow we all drown anyway. We make the ugly look so pretty and the innocent so guilty in all of these games that we play. How you gonna love someone if you don't forgive them? How you gonna hear what they say if you never listen? How you gonna stand up when the world wants you kneeling? How you gonna live out the words you're preaching if you don't believe them? Oh, how you gonna live then if you don't believe them? How you gonna love someone if you don't forgive them? How you gonna hear what they say if you never listen? How you gonna stand up when the world wants you kneeling? How you gonna live out the words you're preaching if you don't believe them?
Thank you, Lavinia. That was a beautiful, perfect way to start. Thank you. Okay, so I forgot to announce, I don't know if I forgot to announce, I think I did, that the open source group for young adults over 18 and under 30 years old is meeting today. It meets the second and fourth Sunday of the month from 12:30 to 1:30, and it takes place in the bookstore. And I know we have a lot of new people here that are about to attend that. I'm so happy to see you all here. And wanting to build this incredible age group of people spiritually that can feel comfortable and really start to grow that spiritual consciousness with like-minded young individuals, and not with all of us old people that are, still trying to figure it out. I'm sure you all have come in incarnations this lifetime where you've already got it. You know what I mean? We probably should be sitting in your group and you can teach us about it, okay? The wisdom of the young people right now is a super beautiful thing, and I've got 2 of those in my household, but my son's in the age group that will be there. His name is Ty. So know that you're invited, and the next time, if there's any parents here that have children in the age group, or young adults 18 to 30, everybody's welcome. This is actually a unity class. This is actually an open spiritual group that's not under an umbrella of any spiritual faith. It's really just a place to discover who you are, what you are, why you're here, and all in this very safe setting. Okay. So today, my talk title is, Who Are You Uninterrupted? And we have to ask yourself this. Try saying this to yourself. If nothing stood in the way of me achieving my success, what would my life actually look like? If there were no red or yellow lights, but rather green every time, what would I build? To answer that question, you also have to think about and reflect on this. Well, what interrupted me to begin with? What interrupted me to begin with? My friend shared this about writing with me earlier this week, and it sprung up a conversation that has to be one of the deepest, invigorating, and emotional conversations I've had with him throughout the 25 years of friendship that we've had. Both of us, it just fired us up to start talking about our journey of the process of what got in our way of our unfoldment, for us to really step into our spiritual beings and really trusting that there's something greater at hand. And the process of falling and gaining and falling and growing and falling and enlivening, and we were really asking the big questions, is it really important for it to be so difficult to awaken, right? And so I'm going to cover some of those ideas. We realized, one of the things we really came to is that it's the perceptions and the stories that we tell ourselves. And it's what we've decided to repeat over and over again. And it's not usually the thing that's helped us in life. It's usually been the thing that broke us the most. And so it's this perception and this awareness from the most broken version of ourselves that's speaking it back into the world. And we're over and over reliving the loss of our innocence, the loss of our power, the loss of the original perfect soul that was born as a perfect child of God, and then the world started to cut us and started to give us a mirror that we weren't enough, right? So the goal of my talk today is that you leave with this statement in your heart. I at last have reached the goal and solved the mystery of my soul. And you'll see why I shared that with you in a little while. So first we have to start from the very beginning, like in The Sound of Music. Let's start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. Because usually those blocks didn't start in our 20s, 30s, 40s. They usually start much sooner than that, right? So we have to ask ourselves, what interrupted me to begin with? So just sit with that. What does that mean? What interrupted that expanded version of yourself? And it might have been something that's happened over time. It wasn't even necessarily one thing that happened. It's usually multiple things that we started to identify with the broken part of ourselves more than the limitlessness of ourselves. And then, yet we still meditate and we still do the practices and we do all these things to stay connected with God, but yet we keep finding ourselves living a sort of Groundhog's Day where similar trials keep showing up through different circumstances, different people, but it's the same lesson that needs to be learned. Right? That's when you know that you're really reviewing your life correctly, when you can start to see that there's a pattern of what your life, what your dharma is here. Part of it is about actually having to break open. Breaking open is a very important part to expansion. And to break open usually means we have to face the illusion of this world. We have to face the stories that we harbor in our mind's eye. We have to face ourselves and recognize what we're giving into this vessel, this being, this soul. So I'm going to ask you a few questions and see if any of them open the door for any more questions inside of yourself, so that when we do open-ended questions towards the self, we might be able to discover blocks within ourselves and establish where they came from. Eventually, we do have to establish where they came from, but we also eventually have to let them go, right? So here's a couple questions I'm going to ask you that are just open-ended. What is something that has happened to you that made you feel less than? What is something that happened to you that made you feel less than? Is there a situation where you felt your good was taken away from you? Can you remember a time in early childhood or adulthood where you felt powerless? Was there a time in your life where you felt betrayed? Have you ever felt like you were all alone in your aspirations, dreams, and desires? Bring to mind a time where you didn't feel seen or loved. These are really kind of the characteristics of the things that happened at some point that started to chisel away at the perfection, right? So when you answered the above questions, did you answer the questions and land on an individual outside of yourself? Was there a person outside of yourself that was responsible for one of those, all of those? A person in your memory that did those things to you? And when you discover who did it to you, we have to then take accountability that we are the ones that have perpetuated that feeling, because we are the ones who keep telling ourselves the story. See, this is where the spiritual work starts, really and truly. Because, when you're on a Christian path, there's certain rules to everything, and as long as we follow them, then eventually we're going to get to go to heaven on a distant day, or we're going to go to hell. And it's very clear standards, right, to live within. And some people like that because they like to know what is expected in this human condition as spiritual beings, right? But unity people that are usually in Buddhism or Hinduism are people that want to take accountability for what they're bringing into their lives. And unity is all a passage of self-realization. Becoming aware of what you're harboring, what you're saying to yourself, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, right? And recognizing that nothing is happening from the outside. Yes, things happened that grew us into broken vessels, as that song was that we were singing in our entertainment club, but we're never constant broken vessels. In this moment today, we can shift this energy when we realize that we have to stop not only telling ourselves the story of the brokenness, but sharing it with others as well. Because then again, we're dumping that energy on other people that might be trying to lift their themselves to high consciousness, where they can live from a higher point of view, from that ego point of view, where we're not affected by everything that's happening in this world and all the discord in the world. We learn how to live in this higher state of peace, right? So that's why being around people with high consciousness is very important. That's why this young adults group is so important for young people that are going to college or going out in the world after college, because they need to have community to be able to share how the human condition is suffering. There is so much suffering in the human condition, but in the spiritual condition, you can live in a place where it doesn't impact you anymore. You live in the eye of the storm. You learn how to live in a place of intuition and guidance and know who and what you should be around, what you're supposed to be here to do, what is your dharma, what are you supposed to be going after. And the only people that are standing in our way of us knowing all of that is us being a little addicted to our victimhood. Some people need that story to feel seen. And so they tell everybody they can. And the first time you stop yourself from telling that story to someone else, and you stop telling it to yourself, you'll feel yourself get a rush. Because that's the first time you took to task your own consciousness. And the more you become aware of the things that you're bringing into your life that's making you have this lesser experience, a situation where you're getting hit by personalities and situations and discord and awfulness, when you realize that you're holding yourself in a higher state of consciousness, that you don't have to live in a life of toss and toe and up and downs and ebbs and flows, and that's the human world. We have the power to be above that. Today, when I left my house this morning, and I've always looked for signs and symbols of spirit, the last 3 days I've been seeing 11:11 in the morning, 11:11 at night. And I know that I'm really on course with my spiritual work when my signs are consistently happening, right? Sometimes I'll see them and I haven't in a while. I realize it's the universe going, where's your head been at? Where's your thoughts been about? Where's your feeling about? You know, like it's like a wake up. Like you aren't seeing your signs and symbols, but lately I've been seeing a lot. I got to the end of my road. I live right outside of Lyons, and there's a huge bald eagle just sitting on the telephone pole. And if my husband wasn't sick today, I would have had him transfer it to the PowerPoint, which I don't know how to do that, and have it shown to you today. And I realize how much it depends on him too. I've got to get a little bit more independent. This is like ridiculous. I'm like, I needed 10 things today, and I was like, God, I ask him a lot to do a lot of stuff for me. It's good for me to, like, you know, grow up finally. Jeez. Okay. If you weren't intimidated or in fear, what would you do with your life right now? Did somebody just say something? Did somebody say paint? I thought I heard somebody say something just then. If there were no obstacles in your way, financial, geographical, relational, what would you do with your life right now? And now say this affirmation with me. For I am the knower and the known. I am the knower and the known. And when we realize that, we realize we are the creators of our world. Yes, there is this intelligence, this energy we call spirit, God, source, whatever word makes you feel hugged and connected and divinely guided by this something. And it doesn't need a name, because this something doesn't need a name. It never did need a name. But it's this something. When you realize that you're the knower and the known, you start to go into that meditation. You start to look for the signs and symbols of what is it that's being called for me right now. And there's no question that all of us have been, you know, called for this particular cycle of life and this time with so much going on in the world. And clearly we didn't come in without spiritual capacities. We probably came in with major spiritual capacities. So what's being asked of us is we already started up here. We didn't start down here. We started up here, but now we have to go up here. Right? We have to listen to our intuitive nudges. We have to no longer listen for other people's approval and appreciation for us to move forward with those nudges. We only listen for the thine will be done. The thine will be done through us. Being open and receptive through meditation, through prayer, and recognizing the vehicle that you are, which is a miracle worker. You can heal any illness in this body. You can heal your mind. You can heal your soul. You can heal from any detriment that you've gone through. And I know life can be hard. It's not been an easy life. And I think the more challenging that they are says a lot about the soul that came in here. The close friends that I'm surrounded with have been through hell and back. And it's amazing. And so that's why that was such a stimulating conversation we had of, but what interrupted the process of the unfoldment? What interrupted it? It's always us. It's always our own fear. It's a fear of stepping in and doing something we're afraid of doing, but yet the universe keeps saying, do it. Trust yourself. Love yourself enough to step into that thing, because that thing is your thing. And once you're in it, it will never be a job. It will never be anything, because it will be play, because it will be soul freedom. It's our delay. The delay from. And I delayed till I was like 40. And I'm an 18-year-old where we're having conversations like this, and he's delaying a little bit. And I'm going, honey, I know you're never going to listen to me and learn from my mistakes, but you watched me make those mistakes. Go do what you want to do with your life, because it's what drives you. And nothing can stand in your way if you love it. Love is the channel that moves things forward. That's the passions, that's the creativity, that's the everything. So I love this from a poem that my same friend gave to me from Rhett Sama, which reads, A Master Backwards. I am the ruler, subject, and the throne. The three in one is what I am. Hell itself is but my dam, which I did put in my own stream, when in a nightmare I did dream that I was not the only one. I am the ruler, subject, and the throne. The three in one is what I am. Hell itself is but my dam. Can you sit with that? That's exactly what I'm pointing to right here. We created it. Even if we can say, well, no, so-and-so did this, and so-and-so did this, and somebody said this to me when I was 19, and somebody did this, and I was bullied, and I had this, and I had no friends, and nobody ever loved me, and nobody ever, directed me, and nobody really raised me. We have so many things, and all of that is true. I'm not saying your stories aren't true. I'm asking you, are your stories helping you? Or are they hindering you? Do you want to keep blaming others for where you are in your life? Are you willing to release them so you can release yourself from the same bondage? Three in one is what I am. Hell itself is but my dam, which I did put in my own stream. So, the greatest act that we can ever do in a lifetime is coming back home to your true self. It's always been within you. Everything that you need to learn on a spiritual path was born in you. It's been in you for many lifetimes. It is you. When you realize that you're an extension of this love, and you can finally release yourself from this bondage, we can come home to our true selves. In Eastern mysticism, it's a worldview and practice that emphasizes the union of the self with the divine. What I've come to embrace is that I had to empty myself of all concepts, beliefs, and ideas about who and what I am. I had to lose my identification with my story and empty myself. So what story have you unconsciously or consciously been telling yourself? Have you ever heard the concept that siblings can, like 3 siblings or 2 siblings can be raised in the same household, and they can have vastly different childhood experiences, often attributed to perception? So 3 kids can be raised by the same 2 parents, and one could grow up and say they had an incredible childhood. Another one could say, my mom was a narcissist and I was abused my whole childhood. Another one could say, I was ignored the entire time. Because it all has to do with the lens that we observe our lives through. The lens we observe our lives. So what lens are we looking for to be looking through? It's that divine lens. that's looking for the signs and symbols of the universe encouraging you. When you feel that wind at your back when you're stepping in, and you're feeling all that anxiety, and you're feeling all that fear, and you're feeling all that frustration of stepping into something new, and a part of you wants to say, I can't do this, just like teenagers always do. I can't do this is too hard. That's what teenagers do all the time. I can't do it. But they told you the day before they're so motivated, and they're so ready, and they were going to step in, and they did it for like 5 seconds. And then they can't do it. Well, actually, many of us are still like that. Because once we feel that fear, and we have to start journeying down that fear, and that feeling of loss, and having to accept that we had a loss, that we had to lose a part of ourselves, that there were things that were done to us that were not okay, but we want to release ourselves and the other people so that we can be free and share this Christ consciousness with ourselves and others. When we're willing to do that, and when you hit that place where you're in so much fear that you're trembling, and you're hitting so much frustration, and you think, I can't see where this is going, keep going. It's in that moment where, when you can't see where you're going, keep going. So when you've seen people that have been through a serious crisis, for instance, like somebody's lost a child, something that is final, something that was so final that they had no other choice to either get angry and get depressed and destroy their own lives, or you've seen the people that became disciples of the living truth because they visited the pain and the break that's beyond anything else. Divorces, like all of the hard stuff that happens in this life, losing your businesses, losing everything financially, right? It's in those moments that we are broken. And that's when we discover this thing, and they call it grace. And it's palpable. And all of a sudden we recognize there's something so much more to this life. Our expanded good is always waiting for us, even if we're destroyed because something happened that destroyed and broke our hearts in a million pieces. Who's had that happen in your life? Yes. And when you look back on it, can you see that you made it through it? And you are not the same person that you were before that happened. Look at the patience you have now with life. Look at the compassion you have for yourself when you're facing difficulty. Watch how you're becoming the parent of yourself. You're becoming the child and protecting that little child that comes forward and says, I'm really hurt. And you say, you know, I got you now. Because I'm in my spiritual unfoldment, and I recognize you got hurt as a little girl, but I'm not going to let you have a voice in me anymore. We don't need to have the big catastrophic stuff have to happen to find our true selves, to discover our true selves, right? Unity has 5 principles, and the 5th principle of unity says this: through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. It's as simple as that. I mean, I can go down, Eastern mysticism, I can go down the Tao, we can go down all the different roads. But it literally comes down through thoughts, words, and actions. We live the truth we know, and it's not what we're sharing out here, most often. It's what we're sharing in here. And so what this principle is saying is we have to live the principle totally and completely. The knowledge of the principle is not enough. One must live them. Knowing them and memorizing them, obviously as a minister, I have to have all these things memorized. I don't care if you have this stuff memorized. I'm here to mirror to you, if you don't live them, then you're going to live in a fragmented world. In a world that's based on quicksand. And a feeling like you don't have any sense of peace. We build a foundation of God underneath us when we really take to task what it is we're harboring, sharing with ourselves, and sharing with others. So the greatest thing is reawakening back to your true self, back to your true essence. So this is one of the questions we came up with. Is there a way to get back to your true self without going through it? without feeling every aspect of it, without going through the difficulty of the death of the old self before the birth of the new? What do you think the answer is to that? Okay, that's called mumbling. Let's use our words. No, we don't have to? It all depends. It's all in our perceptions, right? Who decided that it is bad or hard going through it, right? To be revealed unto oneself when you gave birth to children and you got to hold the most precious thing that ever happened to you, was that easy? Was carrying it for 9 months easy? Was raising him until 3 years old, oh my gosh, the busiest time of your life? But when we look back on our life, is that the greatest thing that ever happened to us? With every child we had. And for men, I'm sure there's fathers in here, and if you've never had children, then you've had puppies, you've had cats, you've had things you've loved, you've had things that are innocent that really meant everything to you, right? And when you lost them, you had to learn and readjust to find wholeness without this wonderful, beautiful thing. So it's finding the wholeness without things from the outer world at all. It's finding that peace from the inside. So there's a thing in unity that's called chemicalization. And it is this. In spirituality, chemicalization is a process of changing from a materialist way of thinking to a spiritual one. It can also refer to the inner conflict that can arise when someone resists spiritual awakening. Chemicalization can occur when someone's negative beliefs are exposed. It can involve shedding old beliefs, fears, and mindsets. It can involve acknowledging and eradicating beliefs that are unlike truth and love. It can involve a conflict between old and new ways of thinking. But the outer reality of what happens to us when we're in a chemicalization is that we can find ourselves almost like dizzy or like falling down really easily. Like when we have a new concept spiritually land on us, the old belief system actually has a little bit of a war inside of us. It's like milk curdling in your being because the mind can get it. The intellectual mind can actually take in these concepts. But then the soul has to catch up. Because the soul knows all these things, but it's like the soul and the mind, they have to come together. And so sometimes you'll feel when you really step into an awakening and really stepping into what you're being called to do, that a little bit more turbulence starts for a little bit. Again, stay in the frustration and stay in the turbulence. You can't ever wonder what's on the other side and get to the actual knowing on the other side unless you go through this process. And it's with anything. Any new thing you start has obstacles to it. Because if you're going to really take it into every cell of your being and really transform yourself, then you have to really let it transform you through mind, body, and spirit. Going through it, it's a one-way doorway. Once you go through it, there is no going back. It is the death of the old self. You must reach that place of surrender where you're willing to jump off the cliff from your own story into your true being. It's the bravest thing you are ever going to do. It's the most courageous thing there is. It's when the rubber meets the road, it's where the illusion ends, and the embodiment of your original spiritual soul takes flight. So I'm just going to take you into a short meditation. It's actually a poem I'm going to read to you that is from that knower and being known. And I will finish this talk next week because I didn't get very far. That happens when I get inspired. All right, so we'll just put some nice soft music on and just comfortable in your seats and sit back in your seats and close your eyes and let's just take a few deep breaths in. And when you get on the inhale, just hold it for a little bit and then exhale with a more time. This poem is titled Mastery by Retsama. I at last have reached the goal and solved the mystery of my soul. I am that to which I prayed, that to which I looked for aid. I am that which I did seek. I am my own mountain peak. I upon creation look as a leaf in my own book. For I, the one, the many, make of substance which from me I take. For all is me, there are no two. Creation is myself all through. What I grant unto myself, I take down from my own shelf and give to me, the only one, for I am the Father and the Son. When I want, I do but see my wishes coming forth in me, for I am the knower and the known, ruler, subject, and the throne. The three in one is what I am. Hell itself is but my dam, which I did put in my own stream, when in a nightmare I did dream that I was not the only one. Thus by me was pain begun, which ran its course till I awoke, and found that I with me did joke. So now that I do stand awake, I my throne do wisely take, and rule my kingdom, which is me, a master through eternity. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
All right, we have freely received insights we can really put to work in our lives. We should feel good about that. And we're going to take an offering for unity now. It gives us a chance to give back. For here the word flourishes, but it only flourishes by virtue of your support. I speak directly to you watching this online, on live stream. Make yourself a part of the truth that you're seeking, and it will come to you in a beautiful way. So find a way to give back to Unity of Boulder. And you have these ways right here where you can do it. Or just scroll down where it says donate on your particular screen. All right, and everybody here can bring into their hands that gift they'd like to make to Unity of Boulder. And we can bless this gift with this prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. We have the opportunity to listen to this beautiful voice once again.
Before I bring my need, I will bring my heart. Before I lift my cares, I will lift my arms. I want to know you, I want to in every moment. Before I bring my need, I will bring my heart and seek you first. I wanna seek you, I wanna seek you first. I wanna keep you, I wanna keep you first. More than anything I want you first. Before I speak a word, let me hear your voice. And in the midst of pain, let me feel your joy. Ooh, I wanna know you, I wanna find you in every season, in every moment. Before I speak a word, I will bring my heart and seek you first. I wanna seek you, I wanna seek you first. I wanna keep you, I wanna keep you first. More than anything I want you first. You are my treasure and my reward. Let nothing ever come before. You are my treasure and my reward. Let nothing ever come before. I seek you first. I wanna seek you, I wanna seek you first. I wanna keep you, I wanna keep you first. More than anything I want you
Lavinia Asaf and our Unity Band. All right, well, we have a potluck following this service, and we can open the doors and even sit outside and enjoy the sunshine, but let's gather for some community. I won't have my discussion group today after the service, so we can all convene over there. And then we've got the young adults group for over 18 and under 30-year-olds meeting at 12:30 in the bookstore conference room. And
Yes, definitely show up for our fellowship in this potluck. Even if you don't have something to add to the potluck line, just show up. We have enough food for you. We want to just share your presence. That's more important.
all right, let's stand, and we're going to circle around this middle pews right here and hold hands all the way on the outsides. Oh my goodness. Hey, Shepard.
With God as creator.
center that dances together, stays together. Here we go. I release and I let go. I let the spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. That's your turn. We just want to hear you. I'm in the spirit. You sound awesome. And my heart. Yes, I'm only here for God. No